Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boys with the REC here, back to you guys with a new banger live stream, in my opinion. So today, I don't know what we're going to be doing. I'm just testing this microphone on the PC, seeing how it sounds, and comparing it to to this microphone on the PlayStation. So I don't know how this microphone sounds. What up, guys? So if you're wondering why it just got louder, this is because I just put it up to my face. Um, it sounds way better. On my opinion, sounds way better here than the PlayStation. So I can finally live stream this. Like mainly live stream this because right now I'm going to make a video about everything um on about my stuff I have, but this is mainly for a PC microphone. It's even in the PC microphone section. So that's why it will sound a lot better than what it does on than what it does right now on the Fortnite YouTube. Not Fortnite YouTube, on my PlayStation. So it always sounds better on the PlayStation. I'm probably going to use this because I am going to start streaming more on the on PC, because I'll get way better frames and whatever on my PC than I ever will on on YouTube. I mean, not on YouTube. If I can talk, I will get. Oh shoot! Sorry, that was me. My microphone hitting my face, but I'll get. It's going to be way better than it ever will be on the PlayStation. So I'll show you guys how, if it will load up. So if you hear this a lot, no. It's going to be because since I don't have a actual setup, uh it's going to have to be beside my mouse because I don't have anywhere else to put it. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna mute my mic real quick so I can do this. So yeah, guys, see you in a little bit. But this is what I'm talking about. Oh, they even added the box. No, we're not gonna put the box. Yeah, let's get into it. So I'm just gonna be talking while doing this. So that's what I'm lagging a bit, but I'm gonna mute my mic right here. So right now, what I am like seeing and stuff is that like the stream is lagging a little bit, but I made it like that because so you guys can't stream snipe me like on Fortnite or anything. But isn't this cool? I can do this. Now I am. This is gonna be so horrible. Oh shoot, no. This is gonna be a little horrible, but because I get like 13 frames on, no, not 13. Not on this PC. No, that all they do first. All they do is they remix it and they like make they changed a person. They changed like the microphone a little bit. So all I am going to be, I'm gonna put my mic back to where I'm not really having it. And yeah, but hold up guys, I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm going to be trying to stream for a little bit. I am going to actually be, streaming for actually a little quite a bit here, but this is really just going to be a test here. I'm going to turn my microphone up because I feel like I actually just moved my microphone like kind of like right in front of my mouth, so if you hear this, okay, I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm going to be watching YouTube for a little bit. Then I'm going to be, while that's happening in the background, I am going to be playing a game, but not like a big game, because if I play a big game, I won't be able to stream. So I'm kind of trying to figure out a game. I'm gonna actually delete a game on here because I'm never even gonna use it. Never even gonna play in with it. So yeah. Stay in the box. Well guys, I'm gonna get, okay, here, like, rescuing Zelda, here we go. It's a hamster video.
Hello, Munchkins and viewers.
I do not own any rights to this, and she owns this video. I'm not going to try to steal this video at all. I like this girl, what she does. So yeah guys, I'm going to be going to the live scene, and yeah guys, hope you guys enjoy.
Alike, it's me Munchie, and welcome back to another foster introduction video. If you're new here, I am a foster home for homeless cats and small animals. As of late, I'm doing more of the small animals because I still have my foster cat with me, Oliver, aka Ollie. But I've been rescuing, rehabilitating, and then putting them up for adoption to the right homes. So far, I have rehomed both Daisy and Miss Frizzle, and I still have Molly, my foster hamster, here, but I have a new guest at Munchie's place, and that will be the female long-haired Syrian hamster named Zelda. So when I first saw Zelda, I saw her ad online with a mother trying to rehome her son's hamster. There was no picture, and she was saying how her son just doesn't pay any attention to the hamster anymore. She would like to see Zelda going to a good home. When I first talked to the mother, she said the son lost interest, but then we needed to sneak around back to get the hamster because she doesn't want her son knowing.
Sorry guys, it was making me lag a bit. Here we go.
So I was very confused when she said that because I thought, well, if the son doesn't like the hamster, I don't think he would care to see it go. I don't know how old the son was, but if they named the hamster Zelda, you know that they play, The Legend of Zelda. And of course, the mother confirmed that her son played the So I'm estimating the son was probably around 7, 8, or 9 years old.
Sorry
not so
guys.
sure. I mean, that's around the time I started to play The Legend of Zelda, even though I wasn't really much of a fan. But anyways, I would think that the son wouldn't care if he saw his hamster go. But she told us we need to come around back to sneak it out. And so when we said hi to her, she was very sweet, and she said that she locked her son in his room. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's Harry Potter all over again, locking children in their rooms. What is this? But I actually really like her just because she had a very happy personality. There's been times when I show up, here's the hamster, bye-bye. And with Miss Frizzle, her family was very nice too. They were just very overwhelmed. But in this case, she was just trying to do the right thing by rehoming the hamster and trying to get it a good home. And she kept telling me over and over again, I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have upgraded the wheel. She doesn't use the wheel. And she was very nice to actually listen to what I said, because I tried to educate her a little bit because I had room to do so, because she was so polite and nice and open about it, that I was like, oh yeah, the reason why she's not using her wheel is because this is a 6.5-inch wheel. She's a big girl, so she needs something like a 9 to 10-inch wheel. And she just felt so bad. She's like, oh, is that why she's not running on it? Oh, I feel so bad. Like, she honestly was a very nice person. But the cage, oh, the cage they had her in, and they did say that she was about like a year and a half years old. They had her for a while, and you could tell by just the size of her, she's massive. But they had her in such a horrible cage. It's so disgusting. It was so disgusting. But it was very interesting to see really big girl like Zelda being able to fit in tiny little parts of tunnels to go all the way up to her penthouse at the top that apparently detaches and becomes a carrier. But this cage is not for Syrians. It's not even for dwarfs. It's just like a KT Critter Trail. It only has 99 square inches of floor space, and they really don't need big stackers like the cage I'm about to show you here. And just to let you guys know, she did give me a travel carrier, which was the KT bus carrier, which was so ridiculous. It was very small, and you could tell that she was stressed. And when she told me that the hamster doesn't like going in it, I'm like, yeah, this is a very small carrier. That's probably why. And she's like, oh, I didn't know that. No wonder it always wants to get out when we have it in its carrier. And so, you know, she's a sweetheart. I don't want to, you know, bash her too much, but obviously she definitely needed to do more, and she felt very guilty for it. So at least she learned that maybe in the future, if next time she was to ever get a hamster, or if her son had kids and had a hamster for their grandchildren, that she'll know a little bit more. Anyways, this is the monstrosity that you see here. This is where her little penthouse is, and I actually left the bedding in there because it's so crammed. I don't want to take it out. I don't want to clean it. I tried cleaning this for a presentation for you guys and letting you know when in the car, it completely toppled over and everything fell apart. And I felt so bad because everything was scattered about in our car, and I had to clean it up. And oh God, it was terrible. Anyways, the pan right here, it looks like it could probably hold about 2 inches or maybe even 3 inches of bedding, but it's still not that great. There is, as you can see, little level ledges right here. But if you take a look, this is the tunnel that I'm talking to you guys about, where it's just so tiny.
Very
how does Zelda get in that? It's
improper
just so
care of hamsters.
And there's also a hide
very horrible improper care.
I got it out.
Guys,
that she went potty in so much that I can't scrape it out. It's really, really bad. So she said she cleaned this thing, you know, at least once every 2 weeks, I think is what she said. But there is some caked on piss in this corner right over here that even I couldn't scrape away. And that's what's really important about doing spot cleanings and doing deep cleans every month, to get rid of piss buildup. So she probably was not taking care of this hamster, and maybe relied on her son to take care of it, which now I've just shoved this strawberry back in it because I'm gonna get rid of this whole cage.
But I am going to see if I am live streaming, because I cannot hear. Okay, I am live streaming. It was just I couldn't hear my microphone because I can usually hear it. I couldn't hear it, so I was just making sure. So yeah, guys, we're gonna get back into this.
This is not going to be for presentation.
No.
This is only for you guys seeing what she originally came in, so you know how bad it is. Piss in hide, which is awful. Pissed in corners, which piss won't come out. I tried, I really did. Super duper stuffy wuffy bedding. And again, looking at that tunnel right there, so bad. And of course, this is such a weak plastic. It all fell apart as soon as we took like one slight little turn. One little turn, and it slightly fell over and everything broke apart. It was a nightmare. But that's what she came in. And she also had a food bowl in there, a small food bowl, and she did have 2 chews. But I have a bad feeling that these are the only chew toys she had to chew on, and she's probably had them for a very long time. There is the kebab that was hanging in there. As you can see, it got chewed on right, come on, focus on it, right there. But unfortunately, it looks like the colors have faded pretty badly, so it's probably been in here for a while. It might have even been left in when she was going and cleaning the cage, because the colors are bleeding onto the yellow. The blue's bleeding to the yellow, and it just looks really bad. So I think this has some water damage to it, especially since the wood just doesn't look right. And then the next item, which unfortunately I do see blood on it. I just noticed this now. I mean, I'll tell you a little bit more about Zelda here soon, but this has been chewed to death. See the blood stain right there? Yeah, that's a blood stain. But yeah, that right there is what she chewed on, and she chewed on this, just like an apple. But this definitely looks water damaged, because that wood just doesn't look like good wood. It looks like really old and bad and probably wet wood. But I mentioned blood, and I wasn't surprised when I saw blood on there. I've had her for only a week, and 4 days ago when I was inspecting her, I flipped her over and her underside was crusty, and I'm like, what is this? So I looked at it. It was dried red dark blood, and I freaked out. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening? So I took a bunch of pictures and I was doing a bunch of research, and it looks like it could be from her vagina, because her vagina and anus is very close together, unlike males where it's a little bit further apart for their dingy dong and for their hole. When I saw it, I was like, okay, this looks like it's further up north where her vagina would be.
This is what it is.
Where her anus should be. So I think it is coming from the vagina. So I consulted with my own pet store first and asked my leader that knows a lot about animals, because he got a degree in zoology. I'm like, hey, what would this be? Showed him the picture, and he asked me first if she was spayed or not. Yes, you can spay your hamsters, but in this day and age, it isn't really that, you know, widely known or widely, you know, practiced where you can spay your hamster. But that was actually talked and discussed about in the forums of, oh, this could be because your hamster's not spayed and it's a female. And usually female hamsters, they don't have periods, and people are thinking this is a period. But then there was another person that said it could have been a cyst that just bursted in her vagina, which of course people do have cysts in their lady parts. But for her, she could have had something like a hamster cyst bursted, and that's why. But then again, just last night, unfortunately, she did start bleeding again, because it went away. She licked it up and it went away, and it looked fine for a couple days, and then she started bleeding again. I was just really freaked out, because I'm like, okay, this is not okay. Something is not okay. Something must be wrong. So the other thing that I looked up was that it could be that she might have an infection going on, and that might be why she's constantly bleeding. So I just have hope that it is an infection, but at the same time, I don't want it to be an infection. But it is scary to think that if your hamster is bleeding from any parts of their body, it would be really serious. So I called my vets today, and unfortunately my vet that sees hamsters is booked 2 weeks in advance. And so I'm like, oh my God, I have to get my hamster in. So this has probably been going on for longer than I've had her for. And so when I tried calling around to other vets, being very frantic about this whole bleeding thing. There's a lot of people that said they don't see hamsters. There's a lot of people that said, oh yeah, we're very booked in advance too. We do see them, but yeah, you don't have any luck trying to find a vet that will see you right now, because we're all full. So it's been full. There was a potential, but their voicemail said, our vet tech is on vacation right now and won't be back until the 24th. And I'm like, oh my God, no! If this has been going on for a while, it might just be something else, where it could be that she has a very deadly hamster disease. Now, there was another disease online that started with the letter P, and they said that this is a disease that will slowly kill a hamster. So I don't know if I'm going to be fostering her or if I'm going to have to keep her, because if this is serious and if she does require medical attention all the time or sometimes, I would probably have to keep her and not be able to rehome her. But as of right now, she is my foster hamster. Yes. The vet that I talked to that isn't my vet that I go to, she did say that they can see the hamster next week. So I am probably, if I don't hear anything back from them, because they said, well, we could always have somebody not show up and you could get their time slot. So if she doesn't call me by tomorrow, I'm gonna set up an appointment for seeing the vet in a week's time. But she is going to go down to 1, and just crossing fingers for her that everything's gonna be okay. If not, she's going to be my Zelda, and I love her so much already. She's been very sweet with me, very slow, but very happy, because right as I put her in her new cage, she started running on her wheel, and she loved it. And I showed pictures to the old owner, and the old owner was very happy. She's like, oh man, I feel so bad that she didn't run on her wheel, but I'm so glad that you had a big enough wheel for her. Thank you for taking her. Very sweet lady. So that is foster Syrian hamster Zelda. I hope you guys enjoyed, and also if you guys have previously owned hamsters and had a similar problem where they are bleeding from the vagina, please let me know, just because I want to hear your thoughts on it or hear what you got diagnosed with for your hamster. You're not a vet, so this could be completely something different, but I'm definitely going to professional and seeing what this could be. But I would like to hear more things about
how to customize. I'm going to be doing this, guys, with you. So I'm on the right account. I have 3 accounts, but 2 of them have oh, there's my old video. I watched my videos. Yeah, I'm on the right one. Okay. I'm on the right one. Come on.
hamsters, because we have a lot to learn about these guys and their issues, and if we know more and we learn more about their conditions, we could probably help out future hamsters in the future and future pet owners too. So thanks guys so much. If you liked the video, hit like to show your support for Zelda, comment down below if you'd like to say anything, and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me and become a part of the Munchkin family, and also follow along with the foster and rescue journeys that we have here at Munchie's Place. So thanks guys for everything, and hello Munchkins and viewers alike, it's me Munchie, and welcome to the next foster hamster video. I have rescued 3 hamsters so far, so this is my 3rd foster hammy. Currently right now I have 2 foster hamsters. So technically I would like it if I only had 1 foster hamster at a time. However, this was an emergency case, so I stepped in. It all began on my Facebook rehoming group when a lady said that her roommate was trying to relocate her hamster ASAP just because they were moving. They wanted to post a listing and see if anybody would take the hamster, but unfortunately nobody was stepping in. So I happened to say on the day they posted it, hey, if you cannot find anybody, contact me, let me know, I'll come pick up the hamster. Now they only had 2.5 days to relocate this hamster, and that's really short notice. But on that day they said, hey, we can't find anybody, we're really getting freaked out here, could you take the hamster? So I agreed and said that I would pick up the hamster.
I just started this video just because I could not find the video, but I found the video. I was on the wrong account on my phone.
Using voice meter, so how you can make it sound the best quality you possibly can. And I will leave this file right here in the description. So all you would have to do is download it and then go right here, load settings, and then just wherever you saved it, just open. Then this will open up right here. And another thing you could do is you could go to your control panel, hardware and sound, recording, and then go to your microphone, properties, levels. Depending on the background noise, it could be different for everybody. I have some background noise, but not that much, so I just keep it on 50. But I would recommend probably not putting it above 70, but I would only go 70 if you have like no background noise at all. But if you have a lot of background noise, you should lower it, but the more you lower it, the more, like, the closer you would have to be to your microphone.
Right.
So just test that out with how much background noise you have. Listen to this device, put that on, and then just slide around until you find the one that you think is best.
Alright. I got
And so I did. So it took me 20 miles to get to their location from where I worked, because I picked up the hamster after work. And then it took me about like 40 miles after that to get back home, just because it was out of the way. But I did say that I would help them out. So when I arrived, the Russian dwarf hamster was in this KT Critter Trail cage. Now, for those of you who know, I do not like these cages. these cages are bad.
Yeah.
Reason why is because they're way too small and they do not have the essentials
very bad.
for a hamster.
Do not buy these.
Because they
if you
have
want,
bigger
buy
needs
a
than
bin
what people
cage
previously
that was over
speculated about them. I believe it was
450
the
square
1920s
inches of
when
floor
we first
space.
domesticated hamsters. So we've had hamsters for a
So,
while. And
yeah.
in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, the care was the same. Small cages like this, and they'd be
Those
fine.
cages are
Turns
bad
out,
now.
everybody was wrong. This cage is roughly around 99 square inches of floor space. Nothing else. And if you can see here, there is a small hide. Well, technically it's a medium-sized hide, a pink medium-sized hide, a bowl, a wheel, which is about a 4.5. Actually, technically, looking at this now, it looks like it could be a 5-inch wheel, not 4.5.
And
Because
Tater Tot
4.5s
is
are kind of
a
smaller than that, so it looks
Roborowski
like a
dwarf
5-inch wheel.
hamster.
And then we got a
And
little
those
water bottle
are
on
the
side here.
smallest
So I'm just
of
gonna open
all
it up,
hamster
which actually, I wanna say,
species.
I've had KT Critter Trails before, and they probably
Tater
still
Tot
have
is
the one
small.
that I used to own, but
Tater
they used
Tot
to
couldn't
be
even run in
complete
there.
pieces of
Tater Tot
poop.
can
Reason
run
for is
in
because their
his cage
construction
now.
was so
I've
easy to break. Plastic parts could easily be pulled out or moved
Yeah,
by
that's
hamsters.
cheap
But
plastic.
look at this. This is actually quite a secure latch
That
right
thing
here.
is
I like that. You just push it up and
$25, something like
down,
that.
so the hamster can't easily
I
shimmy
bought my
their way
bin cage
out.
for
But as you can see, there's the wheel, better
$16.99.
picture of it. And then,
And
surprisingly
it
enough,
has 609 square inches of floor
a hiding
space.
compartment. It just completely opens up. But then
But
again,
yeah.
I'm not trying to impress anybody
And
by
I
saying,
have
"Oh, this
not.
cage is wonderful."
If you guys cannot hear me, I did not. Shoot, guys, sorry. I cannot. I mean, I keep saying I cannot. I have not tamed Tater Tot yet. And if you want to know why, it's because we've only had Roborowski species since 1990, and people said a lot that when they had Roborowskis, they are harder to tame than, like, say, Syrians. Syrians are the easiest to tame because we've had them the longest. So yeah, guys, that's just my point. I'm getting closer and closer to ever to being able to tame Tater Tot. So give it like a few more weeks to another month or so, and I'll be able to tame him, because now I'm able to get closer than ever to him than I was, say, the first month I've had him, and I had him for 2 months. And if you have over or 450 square inches of floor space, you only have to clean his cage once a month. I really only go where he sleeps a lot, and yeah, but I got a lot of stuff. He pooped and peed a lot, but that, and then I also spot clean 4 times every week. And I clean his wheel 3 to 4 times every single week too. So getting a hamster's hard. Don't get them if you don't have the money, don't have the time, don't have the space. So clear as clear still. By that, peace, guys.
Because it's not, but I'm just typically surprised since I last owned a KT. All right. But anyways.
And if you're wondering why I care about hamsters so much, they're cute. Like, if you've seen my hamster Tater Tot, he's very cute. I'd name him Tater Tot because he's just a small little fluff ball, and that's basically not fluff ball. Tater Tots are balls that are very cute. Well, not cute, but Tater Tot's just a cute name. Shoot, I'm thinking about getting either Syrian, or white, winter white, but yeah. But yeah, guys, every time I say peace, I'm either going to mute my mic, or when I say like, subscribe, and comment, that is very much appreciated. And peace, guys. That means I'm going to end it there, but when I say peace, guys, I'm going to mute my mic and continue video. So peace, guys.
Let me just set this down and take out the hide so you can see this is a medium-sized hide. There was a food bowl, which unfortunately does look like it might have been chewed around the rims a little bit. And they had the wheel and basically the water bottle, and that was it. So you guys have probably realized the cage was cleaned out. There's no bedding in here because I have cleaned it. I'm not going to resell this or give this away. This is for educational purposes only. I'm gonna just probably be keeping a handful of these just so I can show people this is not the right stuff to be using in your hamster care or any other small animal care. This is inadequate for what they need. So I'm just keeping it for that. But I wanted to make it look nice just for presentation purposes. But there was only 1 inch of bedding for this poor Russian dwarf. And it does seem like they were trying to do the best things for it. It doesn't seem like it was such a big neglect case, which it really wasn't. It looked like it was fine. However, there was no chew toys, none, in this cage. And they had the hamster for only 2 months because previous hamster passed away. They wanted to get another. They got this hamster at PetSmart, but unfortunately around here, the PetSmarts don't usually sell hamsters very well. It's always been the Petco's where they sell hamsters like hotcakes. PetSmart does have a few old hamsters, so when I went there, I thought it was going to be a young hamster. Turns out the hamster, who is named Molly, she is an adult hamster. She's a very big Russian dwarf hamster that has been around for a while. So when I saw that there's no chew toys in here, I was like, okay, at least it was only for 2 months, and that's probably why her food dish looks like it's been chewed up a little bit. So we don't really have a big problem there. And I was really afraid she was gonna be cage aggressive because of this cage and have pent up frustrations like my previous Russian dwarf hamster who had absolutely no wheel and no chew toys. Thankfully she had a wheel in there, and the bedding they provided, which was good bedding. Sorry if you hear somebody drinking water. Thanks, Miss Frizzle. Gotta announce your presence in my foster video, huh? She's my second foster hamster. She just had to make you guys aware she's still around. Anyways, they were using the purple, which is a good sign because I love purple. Purple Carefresh. And in some countries, people were saying Carefresh is not dust-free and it's actually bad for hamsters. But I've never had a problem with Carefresh, and it's just now being brought to attention that maybe this could have had some sort of issue. But unfortunately with the internet, you guys know there's a bunch of people that like to troll. So if you hear one thing from one person without any evidence or facts or any scientific proof, then you just hear speculations and people saying, that's actually bad. And another person going, oh, is that really that bad? Oh my, I must repeat this to everybody. And then it just goes around. It's just like spreading rumors. It's just sometimes it's right, sometimes it isn't. So do your research. But if you guys really do think that Carefresh is actually really bad, please look for any information like that online and see if you can find a legit source stating it. Otherwise, paper bedding is perfectly fine and they don't have any respiratory issues. The only respiratory issues is in cedar or pine because those oils from the woods leak and it could affect the respiratory. But anyways, she gave me that along with Sunseed hamster and gerbil formula. Now with small hamsters like dwarf hamsters, there is a lot of bigger pieces in here that they might not particularly like, especially since there's a lot of pellets. And unfortunately, from my experience with dwarfs, they do not like pellets at all. So they actually just go for the tiny little seeds. And that's what she's been doing. Even this bag has really big seeds in here, but you do still want to include pellets in their diet because you don't want to be giving them all seeds. So always have a variety in their diet. As well as they provided me with an exercise ball, which dwarf hamsters unfortunately do and do not like it. It's usually the Syrians that like it. So I'm not gonna even attempt to put Molly in here. So this is out, but let's get on to what I discovered for Molly. So when I picked her up, she showed herself and she got on the bars of the cage, and I looked down and I didn't want to say anything, but oh my good gracious, there is a raptor claw on her. It's really long, it's now starting to curve a little, which I'm so freaking out over just because you don't want to have long claws. It could lead to some impaction and it could be very problematic. So you want to make sure she is grinding it on her food, on hard surfaces, things like that. And so that's what I'm going to be doing because I attempted at home to get little tiny nail clippers from the pet store, try to trim her. Unfortunately, she's very squirmy and thinks she's gonna die, so I couldn't do that. I tried doing what some people suggested with filing. I can't really file a nail that small when usually the nail filers are super huge, so that failed. So right now I'm going to try to find some sandpaper like I was suggested and hope that she just runs on that and or just maybe runs on a very hard surface rock whenever she's going to get some water. because usually a lot of hamster owners will just put a rock right underneath their water so they can at least constantly scratch their claws on it. And there's also the fact of opening up food and touching food or touching treats and using their claws to hold it and or to open it. So I'm hoping that somehow this nail doesn't get curved, but I'm having a really hard time to deal with it. And it just sucks that I see a very fully grown adult female that has an overgrown toe that looks like a raptor, but her other toes look okay. They are still considered to be longer than wanting to be, but that one claw in the middle, I just don't know how it got that way. And it's not these people's fault at all, because if they've only had this hamster for 2 months, that nail has been growing long before they got that hamster. So unfortunately, somebody at PetSmart was not doing proper hamster checks and or did not seem to care when giving the hamster to these people with such a long nail. So another issue I've been having with PetSmart and PetSmart's animal keepers is nobody is noticing these things. Maybe this is why you saw the raid in North Carolina at a PetSmart where there were sick animals not getting seen by a vet. That happened. I haven't heard Petco in the news at all lately. The last time I heard them in the news was about a snake in California, and that's about it. But with PetSmart, they've been in the news so much. Something is not right with this store franchise here, and I just don't like it right now. And just one more thing to add about Molly, she did come from a family with 2 small little girls, but those little girls seemed like they were very well behaved. They weren't rambunctious or very loud. They were very soft and quiet and shy, which actually reflects Molly very well. She is a shy hamster, however she is handleable. She just doesn't like to be handled up for very long. She can be picked up and she can be held, but she constantly wants to be let down. But when she gets frightened, she may have the potential of biting. The first time I got her and tried to trim down her claw after a couple of days of her getting used to her environment, I tried, she hated me, she nipped at me, I said sorry, this is for your own good, and it didn't work at all. But Molly is a very spunky girl. She is very cute. She has kind of like a narrow head. I've never quite seen such a narrow head before, but she is very cute to look at. You could say that she kind of looks like possibly a little bit of a hybrid, but I do believe they said that she was just a Russian dwarf, a simple dwarf that was at PetSmart. But they do have hybrids. They have winter whites at PetSmart, so maybe, I don't know. Tell me guys if she looks like a winter white or if she just looks like a Russian dwarf, because right now I haven't really looked much into it. I was like, hey, I'm gonna go look into this, and I never did. So here's the guessing game for you guys. Leave them down in the comments. But thank you guys so much for watching Molly's rescue, and please always do your research first before bringing home a new pet. And if you watch YouTubers who have pets, please do not jump on the bandwagon of must get this pet, must get it now, because you have not done any of your research first. I highly recommend going and seeing what they need, how often they need it, calculating that and seeing how much you will actually be spending each month on that pet, and seeing if it's worth it or not. I can tell you, when I was younger, I definitely did crave getting hamsters because of my friend. And eventually my mom caved in and said, okay, you can get a hamster when I was a little bit older, just a tiny bit older. Just jumping on the bandwagon of impulse buying because you're young and you want it, it's so cute, ooh, I want the experience of it. Do your research first. Thankfully, my mom did do the research, but at that time, it was outdated research. So, there you have it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye! Hello there, munchkins and viewers alike. It's me, Munchie. Today I have, yes, another hamster. Oh my gosh, by now you guys know that I like to rescue and foster homeless animals and animals in need, or animals that got surrendered and or abandoned and or are just neglected. So today I have a very special guest, and I would like you guys to meet Reinhardt. Yes, if you guys have heard that name before and play video games, you will know that Reinhardt is a very awesome tank in Overwatch. And for those of you who play, leave a comment down below letting me know, because it's always cool to see in the pet community who plays video games. I used to upload videos to YouTube of me playing games, then I went over to Twitch for a while, had a blast on Twitch, but unfortunately it did come to an end. But anyways, there's also, I just want to say this too, a hamster that just got released in Overwatch. Currently right now he's only for testing. He hasn't been fully released to the game yet, but you can play him now in the test realm, and he's a lot of fun. And so I just want to give a little shout out to Hamid because I'm probably going to be playing him a lot. I know that he is supposed to be difficult, but I do want to see if I can give it a go. Anyways, back to Reinhardt. So yes, I named this little cutie Reinhardt. So Reinhardt is, I believe, a winter white hamster. He's got the body, he's got the coat, and I do think he is a hybrid just because for Russian dwarfs, they look a little bit different. They're a little bit more slender in the face, whereas from my understanding that winter whites or hybrids usually have kind of like the neck connecting to the face, so it's kind of hard to tell. Their bodies are a little bit more roundish and they look more like a cream puff, and dwarfs are a little bit slender. And another way you can tell apparently is the coat type. If it is like white underneath, that's a winter white. If it's not, if it cuts off, it's too long to get into details, and I'm starting to get blurry too with this because I just learned about this and I just got kind of a sense of it. But anyways, I believe he is a winter white. He is a gorgeous hamster, and I do not know the age of him because he was a surrender and he was from really bad circumstances. So let me tell you the story that was transferred over to us when this person was surrendering him. So when we got Reinhardt surrendered to us, he was brought in by a good Samaritan because that person's roommate decided to leave him in their care and go off to college. Now the roommate was like, well, what am I supposed to do with this hamster? I didn't want a hamster. Why are you leaving it? Why are you abandoning it? So basically Reinhardt was abandoned. So the roommate did a fantastic thing. They brought him in and said, hey, I can no longer care for him. This is not originally my hamster, it was my roommate's, and they just left it. And when they brought Reinhardt in, unfortunately, they did not have him in a carrier. He did not come with his original cage, which was weird because I would think that if you're trying to get rid of him because he's not yours, that you would also bring all the stuff with you, unless he wasn't being kept very well. I kind of have a sense like he wasn't being kept very well, especially since I do believe he's a little bit overweight, because when he runs on his wheel, he gets extremely tired super quickly, and he does appear to be very chubby. And it's the summertime, so that is not good. He's probably sweating and is hot. I feel so bad for him too. But anyways, back to the surrendering. They brought him in a jerky container with a bunch of punched holes in it. Wow, that sucks. But the nice thing about this hamster is, even though it seemed like it came from a very bad situation, he is super nice and very sweet. But when we took him in, I was not there that day. It was my coworkers who took him in, and I have a little bit of a story for you. I'm not gonna say who.
Just downstairs.
But somebody decided not to set this poor hamster up with a quarantine tank. This hamster was left in the back in our wellness area for about a couple hours in the jerky container.
Wow. I've watched this one. This is very sad.
I'm pissed.
I'm not going to watch
a lot.
And
if I could.
And she knows who the person is, but she doesn't want to call him out for it. Wait, 41 minutes. Hold up. My friend said he wanted to play with me. Play what? Probably gonna stream if he says GTA. But yeah. I don't want to watch that. That's just so sad. Is it done downloading? Here. Hope guys, I'm gonna mute my mic. Somebody said he wants to play something with me.
Hello Munchkins and viewers alike, it's me Munchie, and today we are going to be talking about my hamster's adoption story. And the hamster I'm referring to is none other than little Missy. Hey sweetie. So let's start at the beginning. The last hamster I had was back in 2014, and that was my little winter white Jungarian hamster named Gumdrop. Ever since Gumdrop's passing, I decided I didn't want any more hamsters. But I've been recently really fond of pet channels. I've been following pet channels for a long time. However, I came across a few new channels, especially small animal channels like Hammy Lux. And she is the reason why I ended up deciding to get a hamster. Because Hammy Lux motivated me to get a hamster because I really loved having hamsters when I did. I was getting prepared, I was setting things up, I was going out and buying food, bedding, products, all that stuff. I didn't get the cage set up quite quickly enough because something came up. I was at PetSmart browsing around seeing what they had, and I just randomly asked one day. I said, hey, do you have any adoptable hamsters in the back? And the lady's like, oh my goodness, yes we do. And I was just so shocked because a lot of the times you don't really see any signs anywhere saying available for adoption, or think adoption first, which actually is Petco's slogan, think adoption first. PetSmart has a different adoption program. So when I asked, I didn't realize I was gonna get a quick response. And so the lady went back and got out this beautiful long hair Syrian hamster, brown with a little bit of white in the middle, a little bit, like it was a nice dark mocha brown, and I was like, ooh, I want to name it S'mores. I thought it was the perfect name, but I was not ready. I did not have my cage set up, and I was so bummed out. I said, let me think about this. I have to get the cage set up, and then let me call and I'll come back. And of course, the next day, guess what happens? S'mores is gone. Yep, little S'mores. I'm just hoping he will have a good life, whoever adopted him. So I was really bummed about that because I really wanted a Syrian hamster. I loved having my past Syrian hamsters, and I wanted something that I could socialize with. Just because the last two I had were dwarf hamsters. I haven't had Syrian hamsters since I was in middle school.
Next
so I decided to call around
to try to
I called
get
around
a
to Petco's and PetSmart, seeing if they have any think adoption first, and some of the responses were no, we don't have any for adoption,
face cam
sorry, and others were
for my PC setup.
Very cranky. Oh my goodness gracious, the most
if you would like that, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. If we get 75, I will buy it. Or if I get enough money, I'll buy it, because it's like $77. But yeah, guys, peace.
Just off of quarantine that day when I called, so I thought after work I would go down and see him. However, I had such a bad day at work that I just completely forgot about going and seeing a hamster, and I'm like, no, I just want to go home. I want to rest. I had a really rough day. Customers were awful to me. I'll just come back next time. The next day. So after that, I went home, and before I went home, I actually stopped by PetSmart because I wanted to get the special Halloween edition bedding. And of course, I decided just randomly, because there was a lady asking me if I was interested in hamsters, I looked at her and I said, oh yes, I am interested in hamsters. So I let her know that I was going down the path of thinking adoption first rather than buying a hamster. And then all of a sudden, oh, we have a hamster available for adoption. She's been here for a very long time. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, I called this store and your employee said you had no adoption hamsters available. So then she told me that the hamster was actually on the floor, that they haven't had, need to put her in the back wellness room. So she was out there, but in her enclosure, it did say in red words, adoption. So she was on the sales floor just waiting for somebody to come and snatch her up. And I was so surprised because at first she said we had two. One was a dwarf, which I wasn't really wanting, and then she says, oh, but we have a Syrian. So she brought me around to the other side, and oh my gosh, that is when I saw little Missy, that little cute cow.
Okay, so I found the one I was going to get. I'm going to get the HD Pro webcam widescreen video call and recording 180p camera desktop or laptop camera.
And
it's
so
called
I just fell in love, and I asked her, I'm like, what do you call her? And she
Logitech
said Lil Missy,
C920
but I call all
HD
of
Pro
them Lil Missies.
webcam.
And I said, oh my gosh, I love that name. I'll stick with it. Now, knowing me, I was kind of
I'll be right
hesitant
back. My friend's
because
lifting him
I
up.
didn't have my cage set up quite yet. I just wanted to check out hamsters and see if they would be a right match, and then I would come back. And I'm using bin cages, so I had a smaller bin cage at home, not the ideal size, it's more of a temporary cage. And then I was gonna get one that was around 600 square inch, which is preferred because everybody should know that you should get something 360 and above. Online, people are now saying 450. However, if you go to the Humane Society's website or any other website, they don't actually list the square inches. But the hamster community has spoken and says 450 should be a minimum size now. It's not in writing, but that is what it is. And I will agree with them. They definitely, for Syrians, need something way bigger than 360 square, even 450. So anyways, I said yes, I was gonna adopt right then and there. I was just coming in for bedding and I ended up with a hamster. That's what happened. But she was so cute, and the good part about her is that she was previously tame since she's been there for such a long time. The girl that I was talking to seemed like she knew a lot about little Missy and her behavior, and little Missy has not once bitten me. And she's only peed like maybe one time in my hand because that's because I startled her, but she has been such the most well-behaved little Missy I have ever had. I was impressed. So when I brought little Missy back home, I did happen to put her in the temporary bin. However, the next day I went out and bought the bigger bin cage. So she was not in the small bin cage that you guys saw in her introduction video to the channel, but she was in something much bigger. And now if you see behind me, she is in something way bigger because of course she needs her space. So let me tell you a little bit more about little Missy's personality since she's been with me. Little Missy loves her ball. Now, there is some people that say balls are bad, and then there's some people that say my hamster loves balls, it's good. So little Missy, for whatever reason, I set the ball in her bin back here and she just crawled right into it. And I set her down and she just zoomed all around the place. She went into the living room, all around. The cats loved her. They were very curious about her, but they didn't attack her at all. She attacked them. It was a hilarious thing to see. And her signal is if she starts scratching on these sides right here of the bin, that is when I know she wants out. So I bring her out and she's usually out for about 30 minutes. She doesn't poop or pee in her ball. She is the most well-behaved hamster. And when I put her back in, sometimes she just wants to go back out again. And other times she's very content. And sometimes I just let her out for say 10 to 20 minutes. And then a couple hours later, if she wants to go back out again, I let her out. But I just love the fact that she's very tame. I can pet her. She is so soft. So the food they had her on was the best quality food you could probably find at a pet store, and that's oxbow. I was so in love. You just don't know that feeling of love until it's right there in your face and you're petting it, and it's just so cute. So she loves strawberry yogi treats, however she's not too much of a fan of the blueberry yogi treats. And I noticed that she's not a chewer, and this is what is concerning to me because I need to find something for her to chew on, otherwise her teeth are gonna constantly keep growing. She did, when I first got her, chew on some wood pieces, and I do have a lot of chew toys in the back here, and so far she's not really chewing on anything, and she doesn't even chew on these sides here to say that she's stressed. And she doesn't chew on her wheel either. Another great thing about her is that she doesn't make a mess on her wheel. I was super impressed. I was like, what? Nothing to clean up? No poop on here? No, food? What a nice, neat little girl. She's very neat in here. However, she just loves to pile things up and make her wheel stop. And I always have to come in here every day, change out her water, and change out the bedding around the wheel to make sure the wheel runs. Also, I noticed that she likes talking to me. I have never had a hamster talk to me quite like she has. And she's pretty loud when she talks too. Sometimes she's like, who's there? And then other times it's like, I know you're there. Do you have anything for me? It's one of those things where you get a sense of she is trying to communicate to you. Owning a hamster again has really upped my happy level, and I like the responsibility of having a hamster. I love cleaning. I love doing themed cages. I think having a hamster has really caused me to be more creative, more bubbly and happy, to get me back into life. 2017, even though it was very fun, it was also very depressing, and having a hamster has definitely helped me and my depression out. I think that is it for this video of little Missy's adoption story. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to hit like to show your support, and if you want to say anything about little Missy or maybe your hamster, please leave a comment below. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye! Hello, Munchkins and viewers alike. Hello, Munchkins and viewers alike. It's me, Munchie, and welcome back to another one of my vlog videos. So this is just going to be a little hammy vlog for you guys since you've been requesting that I show you Chunky Chip or Hannibal or more of Little Missy. However, I am only going to be doing this when they're awake and active. I am not going to be forcing myself to interact with them when they are trying to sleep. So if anybody out there doesn't understand, hamsters are nocturnal and they can come out dawn and dusk. And I don't like messing with their sleep cycle anyways because I wouldn't want to be woken up while I was sleeping just so somebody can interact with me. Same goes for my hamsters. So all the footage you're about to see will be later today at night. I just wanted to film this when the sun was out and I can use the natural daylight. So enjoy! For those of you who have not met Little Missy yet, she is my adopted female Syrian hamster from PetSmart's adoption program. She has a soft spot in my heart and was previously tamed, so I got to bond with her right away. So Little Missy just had her 1-year birthday recently, so she's a year old and a month old. Little Missy is enjoying her time in a 50-gallon bin cage that was from Target, originally supposed to be housing Christmas trees, and it's around 860 square inches. So little Missy today is a little bit groggy as she is starting to wake up, so I gave her oat sprays, which she has never tried before and seems very interested in them. I am so happy that little Missy was able to be tamed right away just because I'm able to hold her. She's not scared of me. She likes running around and exploring and just having a fun hamster life. Come on, little Missy. You know where the treat is. Atta girl. And for those of you asking about little Chunky Chip, here he is. He is an old man. So when I got him, he was 1 year and 5 months old. Now he's 1 year and 7.5 months old. Chunky Chip was a surrender. And Chunky Chip is a very sweet old hammy. Doesn't really like to be held. He still gets kind of skittish, but because I've been training with him, he has improved greatly. So there was a previous comment before about what food am I feeding my hamsters. All of them are on different diets. For Chunky Chip here, he is a mixture of KT and Oxbow. Now, he doesn't actually like Oxbow, and I tried to get him to fully switch, but unfortunately he did not like that. All my hammies get a mixture of fruits and vegetables, mainly vegetables, so there is other protein and vitamins going into his diet besides just hard pellets. So the one thing that I noticed about Chunky Chip was he was getting a crusted eye over on his right eye, and sometimes I have to clean his eye, but as of late he's been great, and there's been no problems. And for those of you who do not know, older hamsters tend to get crusted eyes, whereas younger hamsters, if you do notice they have a crusted eye, it might be due to something irritating it, like dust or maybe an allergen. As you can see here, his eye is clear and looking great. Just to give you guys an idea, the bedding I'm using for all my cages right now is KT Clean and Cozy. Now, Katie, for some reason, always has different styles and textures of this bedding, so it's different in all of my cages. I know I've been showing Chunky Chip a lot in this video, but he is such a cute hamster. You guys just have to love him. And that's probably why a few of you guys have requested I show.
Well guys, my friend, not that you guys are not important, but my friends want to play GTA 5 with me, so I'm going to end the stream there. In total, this was about an hour and 55 long stream today. I'm probably going to stream a little bit more either today still or tomorrow, but yeah guys, that'll be the end of my stream. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and if you do, comment down and link some boom arms for the Razer SirenX that are like cheap but not too much. But yeah guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. That will very help, especially subscribe. That will help very much buying this stuff. So yeah guys, like, subscribe, and comment, very much appreciated.